Welcome to the Hustle Class Podcast. We have a quick disclaimer. All material presented within Hustle Class LLC is not investment advice, but for educational purposes only. Trading involves risk, and you are solely responsible for your investment decisions and assume the entire risk of any trading you choose to undertake. Owners of Hustle Class LLC and its representatives are not registered as security broker-dealers or investment advisors, either with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or with any state securities regulatory authority. Please utilize a registered investment or financial advisor to make any financial decisions. If you choose to invest without seeking advice from such an advisor or entity, then any consequences resulting from your investments are your sole responsibility. By utilizing Hustle Class LLC and our content, you are indicating your consent and agreement to our disclaimer. Welcome to the Hustle Class Podcast. It is your boy Jermaine. I am back at it again with another one. I am blessed to be here. I am grateful. I'm grateful for everybody tuning in. I thank you for keeping this podcast going. It isn't the easiest thing to, find good content to be able to put on here and to make it, informative every week of things that you probably don't know about, especially with the busy schedules that, we find ourselves with. But I try to do my best, and I'm glad that you all listen and you stay tuned. I appreciate it. So when it comes to stocks this week, it's a red week. It was a red last week. And this week it has a sort of continuation of redness. A lot of people are kind of getting scared in the stock market. They're selling off some of their positions and things of that nature to avoid, the next crash, right? There's always going to be this next crash, apparently. So, a lot of people are, trying to save themselves from that by selling their positions. I would like to encourage everybody to not forget that over the course of time, if you look at the stock market, it trends upward. So, it's about who can hold their breath the longest with these things. That's what is going to, determine who's going to end up on top and who's going to end up on the bottom. So, maintain, adjust, cruise. When you get into a stock position that you really believe in and you understand the dynamics of the company and the fact that it might be here to stay and, the business that they do and whether or not they have a moat, meaning, they have an established business plan or way of doing things or product that sets themselves apart from their competition and is almost like a monopoly in itself, just based on what they're trying to do. You can make sure that you have a company that's going to, weather the storm, even though the storm is going to be present and there's going to be some shakiness. But yeah, so the market was red. So nothing really, to indicate right now. But I will say that, these are the moments where there are dips. So in all the positions that we've talked about here, after consulting with your financial advisor, I think, it's a good idea to take advantage of these dips in certain positions. If I saw a company that, was $7, I was like, I'll wait to buy it. I bought it at $9. It went up to 13 and it came back down to 7. I would think that that's a cheaper opportunity since my entry was 9 and my projection is way higher than 13. My projection is in the 20s or 30s and it's back at $7. That's an opportunity for me to quadruple my money right there. So I'm doubling down on a lot of the positions that I have because I've done my research and they're pretty much all certified. So with that being said, I would say if you have good positions, just double down. Mainly what I wanted to talk about today on Hustle Class is just mental health. Sometimes when you're in the hustle mode, it's sort of like a stress addiction where, every time you're relaxed or you're not doing something, you feel like you should be doing something and you got to go even harder. If you're somebody like me, I mean, I've increased my income, or like my streams of income by like 3 or 4, and the year just got started and I'm looking to increase it even more. You know what I'm saying? So with that comes a lot of dedication and a lot of grind. And so with that, with doing that, it could take a lot of toll on you. Like I still have to deal with family and loved ones and friends and, everything that falls under that umbrella, as well as my own personal struggles. So not only am I loving people around me, I have to love myself, and I also have to be at war with myself, in terms of trying to move to the next levels of life and, beat complacency. as well as, being at war with the world, because, it wasn't designed and the systems weren't made in place so that I could be where I desire to be. So to elevate myself to that level, it takes a certain level of warrior mentality and grit. But, at the same time, I'm human. So I definitely need those affirmations and, empathy and love and care and things of that nature as well. So, it's a constant battle. It's a constant rebalancing. And I feel like a lot of people who are listening can relate. I wanted to let everybody listening know that, you're not alone in your struggles. We all go through things, and, don't let your struggle, beat you all the way down to the point where you don't feel like doing anything anymore. I want you all to stay strong. I want you all to keep striving, keep persevering, and understand that you are loved, you are cared for, and we need you here. We need you around. And a lot of the things that we tell ourselves that we need to get done, it's all self-inflicted. Like, who said you needed to get it done? What happens if you don't get it done? In this life, our true purpose is to serve. And, serving is usually done out of love, because when we work, it's kind of forced. That's why we're paid for it. But serving is, really out of the kindness of the heart, and it's out of love. We're here to serve, and we're here to live and experience this thing called life. Sometimes we're thinking too ahead of us, and we're kind of rushing through things and trying to just think about the next step, the next day, the next move, the next bread, the next money we're going to get. When in reality, sometimes we have to sit down and marinate in where we are, where we've come from. I was talking to my therapist today, and, I was just talking about how I sort of moved through life, always looking for the next thing, always going on to the next thing. And, not only did we get into why that is, but it's also just the mere fact of like, wow, you won't even sit still. You'll go through life and 10 years will go by and you'll wonder where the time went and where the people went, because you're so focused on pushing and moving through life. And you also have to ask yourself, where are you moving towards? Where are you moving to? My goals are seemingly abstract. So it's like, I don't even really have concrete targets. It's like I'm rushing to nowhere, if you know what I mean. And so for those who can relate to the idea of rushing to nowhere and just moving so fast through life that you fail to realize the beauties that are right next to you, right in front of you, right behind you, I want to encourage you to take the time to just sit, meditate, stretch, talk to the people that you went to school with, talk to the people that you go to work with, after the clock. Just check on people and really just get an understanding of what the people around you are going through right then and there. A lot of us feel like we've been in COVID forever. Like, I remember a year ago, like it was yesterday, it's like the time kind of just like became indefinite. I started this podcast during COVID. Doesn't feel like, this podcast doesn't feel like it's 30 something episodes later. Right. But that's the reality of it. There's been a lot of time. And in that time, a lot of us have been trying to make sure things were good, make sure money was good, still employed. Okay, where are we putting the stimulus towards? Do we have any bills we need to pay? It's been a lot of just trying to, grab a hold of the ship so that things kind of stay afloat. But are we really checking on ourselves and making sure that we're better physically, mentally, emotionally than we were at the start of this thing? Because once life gets back to rolling the regular way it was, a lot of us are going to, once again get consumed in the everyday life of an American. So are we really taking that time to really utilize and see, okay, what do I need to process or deal with that I haven't? And is this a good time to deal with that? Because once life gets active, like now people are going out eating, calling you to come here and visit here, and an event here, a wedding here. There's there's so many things to do with your time. And when you have a lot of people that you care about and you're involved with, you're gonna be torn different places for different things. I have fraternity brothers. I have coworkers. I have friends from college. I have friends from high school. I have family. I have extended family. It's just a whole lot going on right now, And so when you think about all of those things, it just lets you know that, there's a lot that's going to probably come up once the pandemic is done. And so will you have the same amount of time you had before to really process and deal with the emotions and things that might haunt you or just might inhibit you on a day-to-day basis? So I just wanted to, let everybody know that mental health was on my mind today. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I was thinking about you and your mental and your emotional well-being. And I wanted to wish everything was good, and everything is good. Yeah, I wanted to do that. And that was the main focus. And tying into that too, I know that this podcast went from like grinding to just kind of like stocks, but for those of you who are involved in the stock market and you see all this red and you feel to yourself as a failure or like I couldn't succeed. I listened to the podcast, I consulted a financial advisor, I made these decisions and my portfolio is red. I'm a failure, I won't accomplish anything, I've lost money, it's a waste, I've wasted time. Don't think these negative thoughts. In life, we have to take things as lessons, and we also have to see things as opportunities, right? So seeing something go super red might tell me that the learning opportunity there is that I got into play too early, or I over leveraged myself into the play. I should have bought 20 shares, but instead I bought 50, and now I'm down more money than I even had to offer, right? So use that as a lesson. Another lesson is, okay, maybe I did buy something too early. Like if I bought something at $50 and now it's at $15, I clearly bought it way too early, right? Or I clearly bought it way too late or early. My timing was off. You can't try to time the market though. So when you have a situation like that, all you have to do is average down if you really believe in the company. But also you have to look at yourself and say, did I overspend for the stock? Because sometimes it's not about timing the market, but it's about value. If the stock was valued at $20 and I bought it at 50, shame on me, right? It's not about timing the market, it's about value. But you can see Teslas at all-time highs and still understand that they're only going to grow. And so when you make that purchase, sure, you're going to have a lot more downside in the near term. But if you know that this business is now just budding, in the long term, there's still a lot of gains to be made for you. So, yeah, don't fret just because the market is red. I want everybody to keep a level head and understand that nothing lasts forever. And we buy the dips, and we want the dips with the chips, okay? So we want to make sure we're heading up. So I'm averaging down. NNDM, I'm averaging down. Gevo, I'm averaging down. Gamble, I'm averaging down. I added ARK Investments to my portfolio, right, with Kathy Woods. So using this red day as like, everything's on sale. I'm treating it like it's Labor Day weekend, So, that's the psychology of stocks. And this is the note I'll end on, When people are buying, look to sell. When people are selling, look to buy. It's a psychology thing. In the stock market, green doesn't mean go and red means stop. It's the other way around. When things are green, you're looking to exit and take your profit, money that you took from the market. When things are red, you're looking for steals and deals, looking to buy things for the low, because everything that people are selling is going to go back up, right? So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the market in the different cycles that it goes through. So just be patient and stay hungry. All right, everybody. Wish you a great week, rest of the week. I hope your mental health stays solid. And I hope that you can process everything that you're going through and lean on loved ones in these times. And also check on a lot of the people around you to make sure they're good. And also I hope that people check on you to make sure that you're good. All right. Hustle class out.